So here's a very good video by Alohi Plasma. I'll post a link below. NASA hoax. The satanic Luciferian scumbags reveal their hand signals in plain sight. And this is a compilation of change of command videos. And there is a pattern. There is a ritual being observed here. What you see in almost all these videos is this. The arms crossed and the head down. That is the way Masons pray. If you didn't know, Mormons too. They pray by crossing their arms. That's the sign of Osiris slain. It's the skull and crossbones. You see the arms crossed. It has different references, but yeah, it's a Masonic reference. And then of course you have the Masonic handshake with the finger split, as you see here. It's called the lion's paw. And that's the grip they use when they pull the initiate out of the coffin. And I'm believing now that the ISS might be a Masonic coffin, that it might symbolize the tomb or the inner holy of the holies, the temple. And look at the other gesture. You'll see this one, you have the crossed arms, and then you have another one where they grab their wrist, like the woman is doing there, or they will grab their hand. And that's creating the Masonic square. You know, the square in the compass? Well, they're making the square in all of these rituals. The bald guy in the top left later makes a Masonic square with his index finger and thumbs, as you shall see. But what's interesting about this compilation is the consistency. They're always displaying the same Masonic square, the same signs, the same handshakes, and the same ritualistic structure to the change of command. It's very symbolic of the change of worshipful master in a Masonic lodge. Everything's very ceremonial. It's a lot of pageantry, and if you don't know what you're looking at, you might not recognize it. What is going on here? Absolutely ritualistic. That's not a coincidence. This guy in the back looks like an eye with his head and his hands on his head. Not a coincidence. There's a Masonic square again. Nothing but Masonic squares. They're not checking their pulses. Now watch the guy on the top left. I believe this is the point where he flashes the sign. Let's see if he does it. Yep, there you go. This is just Masonic ritual. And as I've said, NASA is a Masonic organization. And when I say Masonic, I don't mean it has to be associated with the ancient, free, and accepted Masons established in 1776. I'm talking about the structure, the metastructure. There are many Masonic and quasi-Masonic orders. It's basically a blueprint for a secret society for creating a top-down, hierarchical, compartmentalized organization with different layers, different levels, different degrees of secrecy, separated by security clearances, enforced by a penal code, and every oath, every blood oath they take at every degree is an NDA. It's a non-disclosure agreement. That's what binds them. You see, it's a non-disclosure agreement. And they're saying, if I spill the secrets to anyone beneath my degree level, you can rip out my guts. That's pretty much what they're swearing. That's not a handshake. That's called a grip. And I don't think it's a coincidence they're using the lion's paw, because in the third degree, the initiate is placed into a coffin. And then the master of the lodge, representing the sun god, like Osiris, will reach down, and he actually represents King Solomon in the context of the ritual, and he will grab the hand of the initiate who's being, quote, raised, like raised from the dead. Masons are zombies. They've sold their souls. They're killed ritualistically and they're resurrected with a new purpose and a new allegiance. And so these people are essentially, this is the front group of a bigger secret society network. This has nothing to do with space exploration. They're not in space. This is a religion. It's a cult disguised as a scientific enterprise. But no, this is not a scientific endeavor. This is purely a psychological warfare operation. These are the insiders who are the public face of the cult itself, and they're the misleaders. These are like the priesthood. They're puppets. And they're all bound by secrecy, all these individuals. You're looking at the enemy. You're looking at subversives. You're looking at the prison wardens. You know, if you can imagine like movies such as Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where an alien race comes and takes over the population and subverts it, and they work to eliminate those who are still human and get them converted. Well, you're looking at people who've already been body snatched. Look at them congratulating themselves on how deceptive they could be. If they were really in space, they would be able to switch places. But no, this is a bunch of harnesses and other... Oh, look at that. And at the beginning of the video, actually, he does show something that is totally pagan. Look at this. This is the ritual before they go into the temple. And there is a corollary to this type of ceremony with the Templars and the worship of Mary Magdalene, the Black Madonna, this idea of going into a grotto, a cave, I think they call it grotto, and where the initiates spend a great deal of time locked away, hermetically sealed. I often talk about hermetic magic and Hermes. Hermes is the god of magic. Hermes is known to the Romans as Mercury, the Egyptians as Thoth, sounds like thought, but he's essentially one of the main deities, the Mercury 7. It's all over NASA, but it's all hermetic. And the concept of hermetic is where you get the word hermit. And these people are hermetically sealed. That's what a security clearance is, and all these NDAs and all these initiations and degrees. It's a way of filtering out those who are more profane from those who are closer to the light, and these people have seen the light. They've been brought to the very top. They liked it. They swore to defend it, even though every step of the way they swore that they would mutually work together to stab you in the back, to keep everyone else in the dark, to hide the light. It's an ancient system. So when I say Masonic, I'm not being specific to your local Blue Lodge. I'm being specific to NASA being Masonic, because it clearly is. It's full of Masons, and there's some overlapping, obviously, but it's really too nuanced of a point, when you get down to it. We're trying to get to the truth. We're not trying to prosecute a case in court. We're trying to find out, is there a pattern here? Is it the same group? Are they doing the same thing? Are there any differences? Many heads of the same Hydra? Because you know what? We're not going to catch them. We're not privy to these meetings. They're not going to come out and admit to anything. That's why we have to expose them where we can, but it helps to know what they are and how these aren't just a few innocent people. There are a lot of people who are stooges and who don't know what they're a part of, but these are people who have literally sworn to devote their lives to deceiving you. And when you look at any type of war, civil war, conflict, famine, plague, look at all these engineered disasters and catastrophes. Look at the damage done by mind control systems, various religious control systems, political systems. Look at the damage being done by the zookeepers. These people are defenders of the zookeepers, and you're the ones who are stuck in the zoo. You're the ones who are looked at as animals by the ones who put these puppets in front of you. Very bizarre stuff. Anyway, if you find this useful, please subscribe. I'm posting a link to this video below if you want to actually hear these morons slapping each other on the back.
Well done, Expedition 31, and congratulations, Expedition 32. It's a pleasure to work with all of you, and we look forward to many days and hours working with you, Expedition.
All right, have a nice day.